Before we begin, consider subscribing for more historical deep dives into the moments that shaped our world. History rarely moves in straight lines. It advances through belief and doubt, through conviction and consequence. Few religions have shaped global history as rapidly, or as controversially, as Islam. To its followers, it is a faith of surrender to one God, discipline, charity, and peace. To its critics, it is often portrayed as a religion spread by the sword. But history, as always, is more complex than slogans. Tonight, we step into the centuries where faith met empire, where belief traveled with merchants and with armies, where persuasion, policy, protection, and pressure intertwined. This is not a story of accusation, nor of defense. It is a story of how people converted to Islam, the principles used, the controversies that followed, and how these moments shaped Islam's image, sometimes unfairly, sometimes undeniably. In the early 600s, Arabia was a fragmented land. Tribes ruled by lineage, not law. Religion was diverse. Polytheism dominated alongside Jewish and Christian communities. Into this world emerged Islam, preached by the Prophet Muhammad in Mecca. Its message was radical for its time: one God, moral accountability, social justice, care for the poor, equality before God. At first, Islam spread slowly, through family, personal conviction, and persecution endured rather than inflicted. But after Muhammad's death in 632 CE, something changed. Islam was no longer only a faith. It became the foundation of a rapidly expanding state. And with state power came new methods of influence, some spiritual, some political, some coercive. To understand this transformation, historians often identify 5 key principles that played roles, directly or indirectly, in converting populations to Islam. Each must be examined carefully. The first and most fundamental principle is da'wah, the act of invitation. Da'wah is non-violent by nature. It relies on preaching, debate, example, moral conduct. Merchants carried Islam along trade routes from Arabia to East Africa, Southeast Asia, the Indian subcontinent. In places like Indonesia, the world's largest Muslim population today, Islam spread almost entirely through trade, intermarriage, and scholarship, not conquest. This method created voluntary conversions rooted in admiration, not fear. However, da'wah alone does not explain Islam's rapid spread across the Middle East, North Africa, and parts of Europe. For that, we must confront the next principle. Within a century of Muhammad's death, Muslim armies controlled Persia, Syria, Egypt, North Africa, parts of Spain. This expansion was driven by political ambition, economic opportunity, strategic survival against rival empires. Here lies one of the most controversial debates in history. Were people forced to convert? Historically, forced mass conversion was not standard policy. Islamic law generally forbade forcing belief, but conquest created conditions that pressured populations. Muslim rule brought legal and economic advantages to converts. Non-Muslims were politically subordinate. Power shifted visibly toward Islam. While the sword did not always demand conversion, it opened the door for it. And for many observers, then and now, that distinction matters little. Coins clink. A tax ledger closes. Under Islamic rule, non-Muslims, mainly Christians and Jews, were classified as dhimmis, or protected peoples. They were allowed to practice their religion, maintain their institutions, govern internal affairs, but they had to pay jizya, a special tax. Muslims did not pay jizya. They paid zakat instead. Historically, jizya was justified as compensation for military exemption, payment for state protection. However, in practice, jizya often became a financial burden, a symbol of second-class status, a quiet pressure to convert. For poor communities, conversion became less about belief and more about survival. This economic coercion, though subtle, deeply shaped perceptions of Islam as a religion tied to dominance rather than choice. Few words in history are as misunderstood or as charged as jihad. In Islamic theology, jihad primarily means struggle, moral effort, self-discipline. But historically, military jihad existed and was practiced. Early Islamic empires justified warfare as defense of the Muslim community, expansion of just governance, resistance against hostile powers. Yet over time, the line between defense and expansion blurred. In some regions, refusal to submit to Muslim rule led to war. Defeat brought political subjugation. Conversion became the safest path forward. While forced conversion was rare in legal texts, violence created environments where free choice was limited. Modern extremist groups would later weaponize this history, stripping it of context and cementing global fears. City life, courts, markets, conversion to Islam often unlocked. Legal equality, political opportunity, social mobility, non-Muslims faced restrictions in leadership, different legal standing in court, cultural marginalization. Over generations, entire societies gradually converted, not through mass violence but through systemic pressure. Historians call this conversion by acculturation, not forced, but not entirely free. So how has this history shaped Islam's image? For many in the modern world, the memory of conquest, jihad, jizya political dominance overshadows Islam's spiritual foundations. Western colonial narratives amplified these moments, often ignoring similar practices in Christian empires. Meanwhile, modern terrorism, claimed falsely in Islam's name, has frozen the most violent interpretations in the public imagination. The result? A religion followed peacefully by over 1.9 billion people is often judged by its most extreme chapters. History reminds us, religions do not exist in isolation. They move through power, fear, ambition, and humanity's flaws. Islam did not spread by a single method. It spread through faith and force, conviction and compromise, inspiration and intimidation. Understanding this does not require condemnation or blind defense. It requires honesty, because when belief merges with power, the story is never simple. And perhaps the greatest lesson history offers is this: no faith is violent by nature, but every faith in human hands can become a tool of power. Tell us your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you for watching.